Hey. I had a different video planned for today. It didn't pan out. So we're just gonna get ready together and it's gonna be fun and fine and cool. Oh my god. My hair looks crazy. This is like day 4 hair. Please ignore that. Also, my face is this shiny because I put SPF and moisturizer on. Skin prep. I promise it's not all face grease, though that is often likely. God, I can never remember how the fuck to do my makeup. Every single time I try to do it on camera. Actually, anytime I try to do it ever, I just spend like 90% of the time staring into my makeup bag, which I need a new one, by the way. 1, because this is ugly, and 2, because it is so small and it doesn't fit all of my makeup. I need to go through it because I don't use all of the makeup in it. This is empty. I've just been dipping the spoolie in the big one. This stuff smells so good. It smells like Fructis shampoo. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like divorced dad shampoo. Like the shampoo that your divorced dad gets. Anyway, I hate getting ready in silence. I wish the copyright wasn't a thing. I don't wish the copyright wasn't a thing. I think it's a very important thing. Jesus. But I wish in this instance it wasn't, so that I could listen to music or watch TV. I've actually never watched... I've seen other people post about how they watch TV while they get ready, and I've never done that. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Which is kind of odd, actually, if you think about it, because I watch a lot of TV. I spend a lot of my time watching TV, so you think. But it's like, it's my music time, you know? Right now, I'm doing my, like, 1000th rewatch of Supernatural. Nobody's shocked. Fun fact, actually, I did just rewatch it super recently, and then the second I finished it, I felt so empty and dead inside that I immediately restarted it from the beginning again. So I did just rewatch it, and I am rewatching it again. There's a lot of really popular TV shows that I've just never seen, because although I watch a lot of TV, I'm bad at watching TV in the sense that if I haven't already seen the show before, I have a lot of trouble, like, paying attention. And then if it's a show you've never seen, you have to pay attention, otherwise you're gonna miss shit. So what I end up doing instead is just watching the same, like, handful of shows on repeat. Because if it's a show I've already seen, let alone already seen multiple times, then I don't have to actively pay attention as hard. I'm allowed to zone out because I already know what happens, because I've seen it. And also it's like a comfort thing. Like, you have, like, comfort shows. And also I just get, like, emotionally attached to fictional characters. And then when the show ends, I feel empty and dead inside and I miss them. So I just rewatch the show over and over again and pretend it's not over. I need to sit crisscross. My favorite shows, I'm going to tell you about all of my favorite shows now. This is just going to be me getting ready and talking about television. Waiting for my eyebrows to dry so I can do other things to them. Okay, my favorite shows in no particular order are Psych, Supernatural, obviously, New Girl, Criminal Minds. I'm not finished Criminal Minds yet, but I'm on season 15, so basically, but I already know it's going to become one that I rewatch. Yeah, I just watched Criminal Minds. This is exactly proof of there are popular shows that I've never seen before because I can't pay attention, but I did get into this one. I did it. Everybody cheer. Everybody say, good job, baby. Why am I drawing such a blank? Psych, Supernatural, Criminal Minds, New Girl, Gilmore Girls is another one. I've rewatched Pretty Little Liars a few times. Gravity Falls, Bob's Burgers, Over the Garden Wall, if we're going animated. Those are my top 3. Not in that order. Over the Garden Wall is technically a miniseries. Garfield and Friends, obviously. Oh, speaking of, I got a new Garfield trading card that I need to add to my wall. I just can't figure out where to put it. I don't know if you can see the way the camera's cropped. I don't know that you can see those, but it's... Oh, there's a glare. There we go. It's a Taurus one, because I'm a Taurus. God, I can't stay on topic. Okay. God, I don't know why I can't think of any of my... I know I'm missing at least one show.
Oh my god, Community. Community is the one I was forgetting. How did I forget Community when Abed Nadir is literally like my favorite fictional character almost ever? How did I forget Community? Anyway. Love Community.
And it is gonna bother me. Psych, Supernatural, Criminal Minds, New Girl, Pretty Little Liars, Gilmore Girls, Bob's Burgers, Gravity Falls, Over the Garden Wall. I feel like whatever. It'll come to me. Or it won't. I don't know why I don't do my eyebrows in this little tiny mirror every single day because I'm always like, I usually do my makeup in my bathroom and I'm always so far away, and this is just such a good, like, I can see them so much better like this. I really don't know why I don't just do this every day. The OC. Sorry. I told you it'd come to me. I'm deeply in love with Seth Cohen. Even though, okay, I watched Gilmore Girls before I watched The OC. I watched The OC because of Gilmore Girls. Because, if you don't know, Adam Brody plays Seth Cohen in The OC, but he left Gilmore Girls to do The OC. And so I fell in love with Dave Rogalski first. And I thought he was just like the most perfect boyfriend in the whole show. He's the best boyfriend in the whole show. And I could talk forever about how they ruined Lane's storyline, and it pisses me off so bad. It pisses me off so bad. Okay, there are so many things that they could have done other than put her with Zach. It genuinely pisses... Oh, spoilers if you've not seen Gilmore Girls. Sorry. The show's been out for a while, okay? I think, like, the statute of limitations for spoilers is up. Anyway, there are so many different things that they could have done with Lane's storyline other than put her with Zach and make her have twins. Jesus. Like, is there anything wrong with getting married and having kids? Absolutely not. But it's just not true to her character at all. And it just, like, the way it all panned out for her pisses me off so fucking bad. Like, they squashed all of the potential that her character had. Like, it's just not who she was. And, like, she's such an amazing character, and they could have done so much better. They could have... First of all, they didn't have to make her and Dave break up. First of all, there is no reason her storyline had to revolve around a man at all. Let's start there. If her and Dave did have to break up, okay? They could have kept her single, easily, and then had her pursue her music career. Like, there was no reason. No reason. And if they had to put her with a different man that wasn't Dave, if they really felt the need to involve a man, why would a man be there? Why would a man be there? If they really felt the need to involve a man, right? They could have gave her a whole new man. They could have written a whole new man in. It didn't even have to be like a big role. Like, he could literally just pop in every now and again, right? They didn't have to just stick her with another guy in her band. Like, why would they? And why Zach? I would have rather her been with Brian than Zach. Like, why Zach? Zach's an alright character on his own. Like, he's a little silly. I don't hate Zach's character, right? Until it's in relation with Lane. I don't think they make sense together. I don't like them together at all. They have, like, a few cute moments, but that does not change how I feel about any of it. In what world does Lane Kim end up with Zach? And again, backing up, they didn't have to make her and Dave break up. They could have, like, had them do long distance. Like, Adam Brody did not even have to be in the show. He didn't have to be, okay, for them to stay together. It could just be a thing that's talked about. Like, be like, oh yeah, they're long distance, and then you could have episodes where Lane is, like, visiting him, and still not even have him in the episodes. Like, it could just be scenes of, like, Lane calling Rory from, where was it, California? Is that where Dave was? And Lane would have, like, stories to tell when she came back. Not that Rory ever listened to her speak, but, you know. I just think that chucking Lane with whatever guy in her band and making her have kids as her storyline was lazy writing. I'll say it. I will. I'll be the first to say. Actually, I think the writers ruined a lot of the characters by the end just because they were running out of ideas and wanted to keep the show going. And so they just started fucking people up. Again, don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite shows, but man, does it piss me off a good portion of the time. I went on a rant on my TikTok the other day. Not a rant so much as, I don't know, just yapping. On my TikTok the other day about how I don't hate Dean Forrester, and I feel like I'm in the minority there. Okay, I don't hate early seasons Dean Forrester, because this is another example of how I think the writers ruined characters just for the plot. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But I think a lot of the people that criticize Dean Forrester's choices forget that he's a child going through his first relationship, right? And with Rory Gilmore, of all people, like, that couldn't have been easy, right? Don't get me wrong, love Rory. I have love for Rory, but she's, like, consistently getting mad at Dean for being worried about the whole Jess situation, but, like, she cheats on him with Jess. Like, he was worried for good reason, I fear. And Jess was an asshole to him for no reason aside from the fact that he had a crush on his girlfriend. Be so serious. Dean's reactions to Jess were more than justified, I fear. And again, kids, all of them, children, going through their first real relationships. And I promise I'm not just defending him because I watched Supernatural first and thus got attached to Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester before I got attached to him as Dean Forrester, okay? Promise. Supernatural was, I think it's safe to say, my first favorite show. That was like an actual show, not like cartoons, you know? I watched it at 13 and instantly became obsessed. Being on Supernatural Tumblr in 2013, what a time to be alive, for real. What a time to be alive. I could talk about Supernatural forever. If I get started talking about Supernatural, I will not shut up, I fear. I could make an entire video talking about the mischaracterization of the main three on the internet. Don't piss me off. Also, that's to say, this is not a safe space for anyone who hates any of the main three. It's just not. A lot of people who love Sam Winchester make their whole personality hating Dean Winchester, and a lot of people who love Dean Winchester make their whole personality hating Sam Winchester, and the people who like both of them often ship Wincest, and that makes me want to put my head through a wall. This is not a safe space for Wincest shippers either. Get the fuck out. Don't piss me off, bro. But it's fictional. You're weird. You're weird. I don't care if it's fictional, especially Supernatural. Like, I don't support any incest shipping whatsoever, but especially Supernatural when a big portion of the plot is the fact that they're brothers. Like, it's mentioned so often, it's brought up so often, it's like the entire basis of the show is that they are brothers, okay? They're family. And with that being such a large point, it's like you can't even ignore it and pretend like that they're not. Like, you can't, like, you're shipping brothers fully with your whole chest. You're super fucking weird for that. Which brings me to Gravity Falls. Because people who ship the Pines twins, yeah, that's a real thing. Not only are they twins, siblings, twins, they are also children. You're extra fucking weird. There's just absolutely no justification that makes it not weird. I'm so sorry. Today, actually, speaking of the Pines twins, would be their 25th birthday. Happy 25th birthday, Pines twins. Because it's, like, widely accepted that the show took place in the year it came out, so 2012. And they were 12 turning 13 in the show. So that would make them 25. And it's their birthday, so happy birthday. My nose is swollen. I haven't covered this yet. I meant to say this in the beginning. My nose is swollen because... So I have two nose piercings, one on each side. The left one, the newer one, I've only had it for like a year. The other day, I was washing my face, and I went to dry my face, and I went like this with like the towel, and then I went like this. It ripped out of my face and went presumably down the drain. I didn't see it do so. But I spent an hour on my hands and knees looking on the bathroom floor, and I could not find it. So presumably down the drain. It's really the only option left. And I thought I had a spare, couldn't find the spare. Wasn't, like, I left the spare in one place, in a little baggie, in one place. It's been there 4 months. I've seen it there 4 months, and then the second I need it, gone. Awesome. Excellent. And so, again, I've only had it for, like, just under a year, and so I was like, fucking hell. By the time I'm able to, like, order one in the mail and it's gonna get to me, it's gonna have closed. So, I spent 3 days, like, every few hours sticking an earring through it just to make sure it was still open, and then one of my friends, shout out Maggie, gave me this to put in it. And it took me an hour and 15 minutes to get it in because it hadn't closed, but it definitely was slightly smaller, and also this is a corkscrew one. I don't know if you've ever tried to put in a corkscrew nose stud, but it's fucking difficult, especially when your piercing hole is partially shrunk. And so now my nose is swollen because I was just shoving this in it for, like, an alarming amount of time. Also, the day I'm filming this today is September 1st. Happy Halloween. I know my last video was me saying it was fall in August and saying Happy Halloween, but now It's like the entire month of September is Halloween Eve. True. So happy Halloween, guys. Also, as of today, 51 days until I meet my long distance best friend. Because we're gonna hang out for Halloween and it's gonna be super sick. Our Halloween costume is so good, guys. I'm not gonna tell you yet, but it's really good. Let's continue talking about TV shows. What? Oh, I just realized I didn't finish my point about the OC because I got distracted talking about Lane Kim. I could talk about Lane Kim forever. Anyway, I technically haven't finished the OC. I know I did call it one of my favorite shows and I stand by that. But I've technically not finished it because somebody in the show, one of the main characters, dies. And I just haven't been able to bring myself to watch past that point. Like, it just, like, broke me so deeply and ruined the vibe of the show, in my opinion. I'm sure the show is still good after that. I'm sure it is, and I'll watch it someday. But I'm still in my mourning period. But the reason I watched that show is because, again, Adam Brody left Gilmore Girls to be Seth Cohen on the OC, and I was deeply in love with Dave Rogowski and was in mourning of the fact that he left there, so then I watched the OC to fill that void, and it did indeed fill that void. It really did. I love Seth Cohen. Seth Cohen is, like, perfectly my type. Like, he's exactly... I love him, okay? Fictional man, but love him. Should I put on eyeshadow? I always regret it when I do, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm not good at eyeshadow, I just, like, I don't do it with any sort of technique. I just put it on my eyelid and then blend to holy hell and just hope it works out. But I'm just putting stuff places. It's not, there's no technique or science to this whatsoever. That may have been a mistake. It's okay. Carry on. Oh, fuck. I just like putting dark brown everywhere because I like to accentuate. As you can probably tell, I naturally have, like, pretty pigmented eyelids, like they're darker, and some pretty intense eye bags. And rather than cover it up, I like to accentuate it. I think that Psych is one of the most criminally underrated shows in the world. Fun fact. Like, it might be I can't really say I have a #1 favorite TV show because I get deeply attached to so many and then it changes based on what I'm rewatching. But I think Psych might be my #1 favorite TV show in the world. And I do think it's, like, criminally underrated. Like, I almost never hear people talk about it. The amount of people I've met who've never seen it vastly outweighs the amount of people I've met that have seen it. I think I also watched Psych at 13. Maybe I was 12. My friend Lily, it was one of her favorite shows, and I was at her house one day, and she put it on, and I instantly fell in love with it, so shout out Lily for introducing me to the best show ever made. You're a real one for that. If you haven't seen Psych, I beg of you to go watch it. It's about, this isn't a spoiler because this is all revealed in the first episode, okay? It's not a spoiler. I'm just explaining the plot to you. It's the whole plot of the show. But basically, it's about this guy named Sean, and he, well, first of all, is deeply autistic. That's not, like, said, but it's clear. But he is, like, has, like, insanely high observational skills. Like, hyper-aware type stuff. Hyper-observational, you know? Like, he notices things that other people wouldn't notice because his dad, who's a cop, has trained him to, like, be this way since he was a kid. Because he was training him to be a cop. That's not how it pans out, but that was the whole basis of why. Instead, he makes most of his money, well, first of all, he, like, floats around from job to job. He can't commit to a job or a person or a lifestyle or anything at all, ever. And so he floats around from, like, random job to random job all the time, just having fun, having a ball. And he makes some of his money by giving anonymous tips to the police and then getting the rewards for, like, information. Because, again, hyper-observational, so he'll be, like, watching, like, watching interviews of, like, people getting interviewed about crimes and stuff, and he'll notice things that other people don't notice, and then he'll call the police and be like, hey, just so you know, this guy did it. But eventually, like, that's suspicious, you know? If you're solving, like, a gazillion crimes that the police can't solve, and you're, like, submitting all of these tips, like, eventually people are gonna be like, why do you know all of this, right? So he goes to collect his reward money in the pilot episode, and he's at the police station, right? And then they pull him in, and they're like, bro, where were you this day? Like, you've got to be in on this shit. And in a moment of panic and possibly pure genius, Sean then claims that he is a psychic. And that's how he's solving all of these crimes. He manages to convince everyone except for the head detective that he is in fact a psychic. And so they then start hiring him to help them on cases. In the pilot, it's like a trial thing. They're like, we're going to hire you to help on this case. Then he goes and gets his childhood best friend, Gus, and he's like, we're about to live out our childhood dreams. We're going to open a psychic detective agency. And Gus is like, excuse me? You're not psychic, actually, Sean. But he does eventually convince Gus to join in on his tomfoolery. And they open Psych, which is their psychic detective agency. And then the whole show is then, like, helping the police solve crimes and trying to keep the fact that he's not actually a psychic a secret. And it's so good and so funny and so amazing, and I just explained it horribly, but you should go watch it anyway. Speaking of Supernatural, Psych, and Criminal Minds, the actor overlap in those 3 shows is actually crazy. Like, the amount of people who have been in all 3 shows, insane. Every time I'm watching them, I feel like I'm playing Where's Waldo. I'm like, you're in the other 2 shows. Oh my god, that reminds me. There's this one actor, I can't remember his name, but he's in an episode of Psych and an episode of Criminal Minds, and his storyline in both episodes are exactly the same. Like, it's an insane typecast. The episode is spoilers for both. But anyway, his character in both is somebody who is killing people and making it look like they committed suicide because he thinks he's putting them out of their misery. In both. It's the same actor. What an insane typecast. I look crazy. I kind of do, in fact, regret the eyeshadow. It's fine. I also don't... The mascara I have right now is horrible. Like, it, like, smudges everywhere and gets all over my whole face. And I don't. Like, it'll get all over my under eyes and stuff. And it's really terrible. Also, I don't think I brought my setting spray in here. Hold up. I kissed my cat on the head while I was out there. And now there's just so much cat hair on my mouth. Oh my god. I feel like I'm forgetting a step of my makeup. I'm really confused. Getting the extra grease off of my face. I don't know why my face is so oily, bro. That didn't go as planned. I'm waiting for my setting spray to dry. That's creating no hair. Too small. What if I use my Garfield trading card? Do we think that'll work? Oh, a little bit better. Okay. Oh my god, speaking of Garfield, we're gonna talk about Garfield and Friends now. Basically, I got in trouble as a kid because of Garfield and Friends. This is my fun fact. So, as you can see, I'm a Garfield enthusiast. I always have been. I used to collect the, like, booklets of the comics that were, like, horizontally long. Anyway, not the point. And so I watched a lot of Garfield and Friends as a kid, and something about cartoons from then, they said a lot of shit that they wouldn't get away with in cartoons nowadays. And one thing is that Garfield used to regularly say that people that were doing things that annoyed him should get drug out into the street and shot.
People who sing like that should be drug out into the street and shot. Whoever invented Christmas trees should be drug out into the street and shot. Whoever said getting there is half the fun should be drug out into the street and shot.
Yeah. So... And I repeated that as a really small child. And I did get in trouble. There's this one scene that I'm thinking of specifically. He says it multiple times, but there's one that I'm thinking of specifically. And it's like this little girl, and she has taken Garfield in as her own because she thought he was a stray. And she's, like, singing at one point, but, like, not well, horribly. And then Garfield says something along the lines of people who force you to listen to them sing should be drugged out into the street and shot, or worse, forced to listen to a tape of themselves singing. Anyway. Oh my god, Glee. Sorry. I rewatched Glee a lot. Which may or may not say a lot about me as a person. It's like the worst show I've ever watched and also the best show I've ever watched. Like, it's so bad, it's beautiful. I could also talk about movies forever, just for the record. I've watched a lot more movies than I've watched TV. I'm a huge movie person. When I was a kid, before my house burnt down, we had a ginormous movie collection, like huge, like an entire like floor to ceiling bookshelf of DVDs, two shorter, not short, but shorter bookshelves full of VHSs, and then another like of those thin, tall shelves, also full of DVDs. And my friends used to tell me that my house was like Netflix, and we would play this game where they would try and think of any movie they could think of, and then I would go find it. That's what we did for fun. Really, the only thing left is mascara and my lips, but I really don't want to do mascara because it's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be really bad. I hate this mascara. It's not got a label. I didn't even buy that long ago. How is it already labelless? I'm pretty sure it was LA Colors, and usually I like LA Colors stuff. Like, a lot of my like cheap makeup is LA Colors, but this shit is ass. I'm gonna put it on though because my eyelashes are naked and I'm not putting on falsies. I'm just not doing it. Not today. I don't have it in me. I give it 5 seconds before it's all over my under eyes. Also, I got a different LA Colors mascara, not this one, the one in the more square tube, and that one was fine. This one just sucks. There are cheap mascaras that are amazing. This is not one of them. Sorry, LA Colors, I love you. I really do. The thing that sucks is I cannot do bottom mascara with this. Like, I can't. It already gets all over my under eyes when I just do it on my top lashes. Oh man. I don't even noticeably have mascara on. That's so funny. It's because I didn't want to pack it on too much because, again, it sucks. I really do feel like I skipped a step at some point in there. But oh well, it's fine. It looks fine. It's fine. Anyway, I had a lot of fun yapping about TV shows, actually. I feel like I could have said 1,000 more things, and I fully would if my camera wasn't dying, actually. If you want me to yap more about TV shows or even movies, I would love to do that. I really would. But I do actually have places to be today, and I am actually running behind, so I should probably go do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next Monday.